is putting together a bit of a compilation of hashtags. And part of maybe what you've heard, I know I have, yeah, what happened on 9/11? Yeah, we don't know for sure. Okay. What we do know, one of the most disturbing things is when people say, what does it matter? It's in the past. We're dealing with a present that has been largely manipulated by the events of 9/11. I wanted to create a video that's primarily dedicated to that particular topic and why it matters. It matters because the truth matters. What happened on 9/11 was criminal. I believe we can all agree on that it was evil and a lot of people died. And a few years ago when I heard that there were no planes involved at the Twin Towers, I thought, well, that's crazy talk. That's not even possible. And then what happened was I saw some recorded footage that was presented on live TV or supposed live TV, where the front end of a plane actually not only penetrated the building, and I saw it apparently live, it not only penetrated the building, the nose cone came out the other side intact. That's not even possible. A nose cone of a jet flying hundreds of miles an hour, maybe 500 miles an hour, there's no way it can cut through steel and concrete and be intact on the other side. So seeing is believing. What did we see and what do we believe about what we saw? Another curious event was on September 10th of 2001, Donald Rumsfeld announces to the world that the Pentagon is missing $2.3 trillion. Well, that investigation never went forward because the budget analyst office at the Pentagon was hit by something that exploded. We get a fireball, probably the most surveilled building in the world. We get a fireball and no evidence of any plane, real evidence. No black box, no bodies from passengers. Where are they? So when President Bush was told, he leaned over and they said the second plane hit the tower, we're under attack. He probably knew about the first plane. He knew about the whole thing. But why in the world would he stay at that school in a known location when our country is supposedly under attack with planes flying around? You would think they would get him to a safe area. Of course they would. But they knew what was happening. They caused it. So what I'm going to show you right now is just some of the numbers for the tidal activity right here, and the sun and the moon, when it'll appear and vanish. And this is Cherry Grove, South Carolina. We call it the inside for this particular purpose, to show this. 11 minutes from now, the sun will break the plane over there. A lot of people come out to see what's going on here, and just to see the beauty and majesty of creation, because they like that, and they can't help but miss me standing here doing a live broadcast. Some of them will actually go to my channel and see what's there. Good. You might be pleasantly surprised. No need for a tinfoil hat. Don't have one. So back to 9/11, what else happened? Oh, Building 7 also fell at free fall speed with no planes hitting it. Office fires don't make steel reinforced concrete buildings to fall in their footprint at free fall speed, ignoring all the structure that was supposedly in the way. And how about buildings vaporizing into a pile of dust with silt and like pumice covering New York? What about that? Well, what happened was, we don't know exactly. I busted up a lot of concrete in my day with heavy equipment, machinery, diesel operated, as well as a sledgehammer. And concrete doesn't turn into dust because concrete above it falls. It just doesn't work that way. That's not reality. So reality exposes that the events of 9/11 as they were described to us are impossible. The 9/11 Commission was underfunded and totally a joke. So I'm hashtagging 9/11 truth seekers, because if you're the kind of person that thinks it doesn't matter what happened on 9/11 or what the shape of the world is, or did we really land on the moon, then you're the kind of person that I know is deceived. And so what I'll do is I'll take the time to produce content like this to toss into the reservoir for my fellow truth seekers that would like to share this type of information with their families and friends. And undoubtedly there's going to be people that'll say, well, that's crazy. That's a crazy person talking like that. And they're entitled to their perspective, of course. It's just that a lot of people are basing their eternal perspective on a lie, and that's criminal. And it's designed that way. So many of the people that we'll interact with are deceived, and they don't know it. They're under a mind control that they don't even realize exists. And I talk about that. There's a document on my YouTube channel called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. It talks about a distracting of humanity with matters of little to no significance. Supposed entertainment, whether it's The Simpsons, Family Guy, Miley Cyrus twerking, whatever it is, all this garbage is to get people distracted from what really matters. Oh, and how about the sports that merge the military-industrial complexes distraction and causing people to feel really good about building a machine to kill other people, unaware that they're doing it for corporate greed, the reduction of the population, and the further enslavement of humanity in a structure that they don't even realize exists. So the mind-controlled people that surround the truth seeker, the genuine truth seeker, are designed to cause that person to shut up. Yeah, like Bill O'Reilly. You watch Fox News? You like Bill O'Reilly? When we go to war, just shut up. That's what he says. I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to shut up until Jesus says it's time to come home, or it's time to stop talking about this. But I don't believe that's going to happen, that he would want me to stop exposing the truth of this matter. Not just this matter, the truth in general. So this is part of a series, like I said, where I'm going to be hashtagging some really hot topics and putting it out there so that people are aware of what's going on. Hey ladies, I was going to mention, I found a fish that was stuck in the sand, and he wasn't going to make it. And I pulled him out and set him free. And it was so cool to see. So this is pretty small right now, but sometimes you'll see little squids. I got bit by a little squid. I didn't even know they had teeth.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, it might have been a little stinger or something, but the tidal pools, there's a lot of them over there too. Have you been all the way down there?
Yeah.
It's so cool, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoy your time.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. It is so fascinating to me to meet the people that I get to meet out here, and I don't have to rain on their parade right now or their day. I can simply give some useful information. It was so fascinating to me to see a fish stuck in the sand. He was like buried in it was a minnow about that long. and the front half of him was sticking out there, and I looked at him, and he looked like he might be dead. I couldn't see anything moving. And then I picked him out of the sand, and he started wiggling, and I set him free. I've got another video, it's on my Facebook videos. It was a fish about this big that was laying on his side in a tidal pool about that big. And I was able to pick him up and set him free. I thought that was so cool. Does it matter? Well, it sure did to that fish. And then it's a story that I can relate to you about what I believe to be reality of the world that we live in. Now, part of the dynamic of what's going on here is that the sun is approaching. People have driven from all over. I meet people from all over the world here. Sweden, Norway, Germany, Conway right 30 minutes down the road. From right nearby, and one of the ironies is a lot of people, like my wife Joni, I love her. She's doesn't come to the beach much at all. She's too busy, but she has plenty of time to watch television, and that's unfortunate. And that's just part of the reality. Some people are immersed in a distraction, and it's also brought on a catalyst for that distraction and deception would be chemicals that are in the food. She drinks diet soda, aspartame. Donald Rumsfeld, who mentioned the missing trillions, helped bring aspartame to the food supply. One of the most toxic food additives ever. On my photo album, you can see some of the health effects of being on aspartame. No surprise to me if somebody's drinking Diet Coke that they're going to have trouble with life. Yeah, I said it. And they'll advertise it where? On American Idol. Do you really think that what's in those cans is actually what's on the label? It may be. I wouldn't put it in my body. Even if I was really thirsty, I wouldn't put it in my body. So part of this is so convoluted, the levels of deception and control, that a lot of people just simply say, I can't know what happened. And to a certain extent, that part is true. We may not be able to know exactly what did happen. However, it is suspicious as well that the military was running a drill that mirrored what actually happened. And also, there was commentary that no one could have even imagined this happening, when they absolutely did imagine it happening. They caused it to happen. And the impossibility of the controlled demolition that we all saw, that's impossible to happen spontaneously without pre-placed explosives. So I'm more than a truther of one particular topic. There's a bit of a nucleus or a convergence with some of the topics. The vaccinations, the increase of autism, that's all reality. The weather modification that they say is actually, they've been doing it for years. They caused rain to happen in Vietnam on the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Our veterans, that some of us are still alive, not a lot of them, but some of them, were exposed to some really dangerous chemicals when that happened. And we're being satiated with dangerous chemicals every day. Some voluntarily ingest them. I would encourage everybody to not do that. Some people say, well, I could get hit by a bus. I might as well enjoy smoking. I used to smoke cigarettes in the shower and have vodka for breakfast. Hello. And when I smoked marijuana, I would wake and bake, baby, round the clock. When I got up to go to the bathroom, it was time to take a hit. Time to try and anesthetize myself from the misery of being aware of all the crap that's going on in this world, or at least some of it. And the reality of it is, I wasn't aware that I wasn't born of God's Spirit. I only thought I was. So the short version is, I thought I was born again until I actually was. That's part of the dynamic of that. So those of you who are familiar with some of my videos will understand why I'm positioned where I am. The sun is going to come up in this area today. I've got the P900 ready to rock and roll with some really awesome shots. Maybe some more video to show the beauty of this. And one of the things that I can do is just go ahead and I'll take a shot right here. This might make it on my photo album. But I'm going to show you something else. So you can't actually see this shot. I can't take this shot from up here. I've got to go down there to get that shot. Okay, so that may seem really obvious. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I'll tell you exactly what it has to do with. When I first heard that there were no planes involved, and I know there were planes at different aspects of the events of 9/11, what was obvious after I realized some of the computer graphic imagery and the fakery that they do, not only in the movies for our entertainment and brainwashing, they put that level of content on the news presenting a false reality. Wow. So when I saw a whale jump out of a gymnasium floor in front of people that all responded to it, I'm thinking that's pretty unusual. Or seeing a green screen and all of a sudden backgrounds develop that clearly show they're not where they are pretending to be. Whether it's the ISS, the International Space Station, in your face flat earthers when they show something fly across the sun, or the moon, I mean, with the P900. They can make things look like different things. They can have a plane that gives the illusion of that. I think I'm gonna probably go silent and zoom in right now. One of the things that I've tended to notice, I should say, is there's a tendency when the sun becomes visible at this vantage point, quite often there's a gust of wind that's drawn towards it for whatever reason. Kind of interesting.
So this will be addressing both recordings, the broadcast live on Facebook, which will be converted to a YouTube, and the P900 capture that I will merge and post on YouTube as well. Feel free to come back by and check it out. I would encourage everybody to activate the notification bell on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and get the notifications. Hey, even if you don't like, no telling what you're going to find when I post the videos. Some of them I'm pulling out of archives that I've captured years ago, and some of them I'm capturing right at the moment and sharing, going live on YouTube. The advantage of going live on Facebook is the network of distribution that happens sometimes, actually quite often. On my way riding home, I can send my live broadcast to 100 groups, millions of people potentially. And then when I go live on Facebook, there's a notification that goes out even to to people that are not my friends. Sometimes they'll put the angry face up there. They can't comment because I won't let them. I've got that feature activated. You know what? I might change that. I might change that to let non-friends comment, see how that goes for a while. And then I can let my friends see the hatred and vitriol that I end up looking at sometimes. But what I've tried to do is keep my my videos and posts to be somewhat of a safe place where people can take a look at whatever the topic is and not be picked on and hated, have people hate on them. And some of the hating, actually, I'm convinced is artificial intelligence, as in like automated responses. The computer learning systems that are in operation right now in humanity and in the cloud, on the internet, all around us, is tracking, tracing, databasing all of our activity, and actually part of the very sophisticated mind control overlay that's in humanity. People distracted with not just issues of little to no significance, sometimes they're just trying to survive. And it can be very difficult with the system that pays as little as they need to get the job done. And so driving the living wage down with slave labor in other countries and in all of that, it's by design, just so you know. It's not accidental. The deindustrialization of North America has been going on for a long time, all my lifetime. And unfortunately, that's just part of the system that we live in. And what will we do with that? So what I'll be doing is hashtagging significant events. Like this live broadcast, I hashtag 9/11 Truth Seekers. Does what happened on 9/11 of 2001 matter? Absolutely, the truth matters. Seeing is believing. What did we see and what do we believe? Well, one of the things that I saw apparently live was a jet plane crashing into a building and coming out the other side somewhat, some of it intact. The nose cone of a 767 can't cut through concrete and steel and come through the building with any part of it intact. Not at all. So what I saw later in my life, when I was told that that there was computer graphic imagery involved, well, I explored that and found out, yes, that technology exists. It actually occurs. There's fabricated news, not necessarily fake. There's actual events that are occurring. People may actually die. However, the pretense for what occurred or is occurring quite often is orchestrated, choreographed, much like a movie. It's produced quite often just like a movie to give people a false reality. So the authority that has control over the corporate media distribution and the official truth is complicit in the very deception that they're reporting on. So it's all very, very carefully choreographed. It's all, I'm not afraid to put my face in the camera. Many of you know that. Or my location where I live and my phone number. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. That's just the reality of that. One of the things that's amazing to me is just the beauty of this area, and I want to help people to see that. You might not be able to come and visit here. This is the Cherry Grove at the Point in Cherry Grove, South Carolina, right at the north end of South Carolina. And people come from all over the world to enjoy the beauty and majesty of creation here. I believe that this world that we live in is created by the God that authored the Bible, Scripture. I'm unapologetically biblical in all the truth movements because I believe the ultimate truth movement is the way, the truth, and the life. I believe a whole lot of people were born again even though they didn't know how to pronounce the Hebrew name of Yeshua, Jesus. And I know that there's a lot of people that have very strong opinions on this topic that are within the truth movements. I would simply say the Alpha and the Omega, the living Word, the Lord, the one that's in charge, the Creator, the great I Am, the living, the bread of life, the one that created this world. He's accounted for in the biblical account. And that's who came to take up residence in me. He actually gave me his Holy Spirit and a love for the truth concurrently. I believe at the same time is what that means. If I use any words you don't know, what I did as I was quite a bit younger is I'd look up words I didn't know the meanings of. Some of the people that make fun of truthers or people that aren't afraid to tell the truth is that there can be a vocabulary that's unfamiliar to them. That's not going to stop me. I'll just figure out what it means. So what I'm able to do right now is zoom in on some pelicans, and I don't have the LCD screen opened up. This is just freehand. And they're spectacular. A couple days ago I ordered the P1000. I'm so looking forward to getting that. That's going to be awesome. It will have a zoom capacity of 125 times. This camera right now, the P900, will zoom in 83 times, which I'm zoomed in 83 times right now. What happened out here too is we had the beach renourishment process where millions of yards of sand were pumped up on the beach along the coast of the Grand Strand, and some of that sand was washed down here. And what has happened as a result of that is that the velocity of the water has increased to such a point that trees that used to be on the edge of the island there where the water flows in and out of, it increased the flow, the pressure, and cut away trees and washed them out on the beach. The whole hydrologic cycle of the world is fascinating to me. The temperature differential leads to evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. We've got transpiration of water coming out of plants and oxygen. Water is liquid oxygen and hydrogen. Very powerful, and it seeks its level, covers the face of the earth. It's just what it does. So the water in the view right there is relatively flat and level and undisturbed. There is a bit of a breeze, probably 7 miles an hour, coming from directly behind us in this view. So the symphony of humanity that comes out here is largely very reflective. We've got young parents, grandparents raising children, single moms raising children. And then the singles, the divorcees, the widows, the widowers. It's and then the companions that they have. Some of them bring pets out here. And they're a very interactive dynamic. I met a gentleman that's in his 70s. He got himself a puppy, and a whole lot of people come up and talk to him, and the puppy's adorable. He's a jovial, real friendly kind of guy. Good fit for him to have a puppy that brings a lot of people over to talk to him. So some of this will be, what I'm about to say will be a repeat for what I said on my live Facebook broadcast. I'm going to add it into the P900 recording. And that being that the events of 9/11, officially as we were told by the corporate media system, is patently a lie. Buildings can't fly through, or I should say, planes can't fly through buildings. A fireball can, but not an airplane. And what about what hit the budget analyst office at the Pentagon, where the $2.3 trillion was recognized as and announced missing by Donald Rumsfeld? Well, we don't have any footage that we were presented of what hit the Pentagon. We get a fireball, and no visible plane wreckage. Yeah. So when I hashtag 9/11 truth seekers or any of the other conspiracies, note that there will be ridiculous conspiracy theories intentionally interjected in those queries, in that reservoir, so that people just think it's crazy. Oh well, it's not crazy, it's reality. And the challenge that I believe people will have, and I know I did too, was I'm being presented on whatever topic I'm looking into. I'm being presented contradictory information, what is actually accurate. Which is the accurate information? What is the truth? So the challenge that truth seekers have had for a long time is, how will we know what's actually true? How will we be able to make that determination? And I'm convinced it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. The truth is all around us. However, pride is a powerful catalyst for deception. You can have a sea of deception around us. It's all around. And pride, when it's intermingled with that, it's powerful. It'll cause the individual, the proud individual, to be easily deceived. Second Thessalonians chapter 2 says, to all of creation, all entities, They refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. That's a big deal. So people can be presented all the truth and the reality of a situation, and if they don't really want to know it, the God who created this world is going to see to it that they largely, as best I can tell, believe the lie they want to believe. And largely that would be Satan's children, as best I can tell. Satan was cast out of heaven because he wanted to take God's place. A third of the angels were cast out with him. Where did they go? Well, terra firma, baby, as far as I know. They're here in the midst of humanity. Some indwelling people in the form of demonic possession, and there can be non-visible to us spiritual entities that are also interacting with humanity. So it's important to be prepared. I believe the best preparation is to actually be born of God's Spirit. So greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth or get struck by lightning. Yeah, I've got the video, Struck by Lightning. I was struck by lightning about 100 yards from here, recording surf fishermen. It was a test so that, was it so that God would see what I would do? He already knew that. He wanted me to see what I would do, and I would obey him. He controls the storm, what it does. So there is a storm coming. What is it? How will you handle it? For my Facebook audience, wait until you see, if you care to, the zoomed in view of the sun slicing through the clouds. I don't even know how that works. Certainly looks like the sun is in the midst of the clouds to me. And then there are those that would say, well, that's crazy. Oh well, believe whatever you want. I know the sun is hot. Magnified light through my water jugs can cause combustion. I know that. I know that the other day when I had a live broadcast, we had a lot of rain, and then the sun came out and dried off the roads and evaporated that moisture that had precipitated, put it into the atmosphere. It went from being relatively, like 70% humidity to 100% humidity. The sun came out and moved that water off the wet blacktop, and all the stuff that got wet started evaporating. Understanding how that works is a bit different. I actually like it. I like the world that God created. I enjoy living in it. And Lord willing, I'll keep on doing what I'm doing to expose the truth about things. So on my like video playlist, I've got over 1,100 videos that cover a lot of topics. My commentary on some of these things, like the flat earth, hashtag flat earth truth seekers. We're basically all living on a mostly flat earth, doing research about a variety of topics. How will we know the truth of it? Well, I've covered that. God's grace is required to love and believe the truth. Humility is not a human characteristic. Pride is. Pride got Satan kicked out of heaven, didn't it? Lucifer. Yep, that's what happened. He wanted to do it his way. Sounds like a song. I did it my way. Yeah, that's what Satan was saying. I did it my way. Look at where it got him. Yeah, how about Frank Sinatra? Where's he? Well, basically anybody that's not born of God's Spirit, from what I understand, will spend an eternity in separation from God's family. The elect angels, the creator of this world, and all of his children. They've got separate accommodations. Scripture talks about that being hell. So what I would encourage people to do, I would encourage you to do, is to seek the truth with all your heart while you can. Seek the truth while he may be found. A very effective way of overcoming the struggles of life is to be born of God's Spirit. Hearing his word day and night works for me. I use mobile technology to listen to the Bible when I'm awake or asleep. I can put headphones on wherever I am, basically, almost anywhere. And when I'm not directly listening to the Bible, I'll be meditating on it or asking Jesus what he wants me to do today. What kind of a broadcast? What's the name on the title? So thank you so much for your public and private support. If you've got a YouTube channel, go ahead and put it in the Facebook broadcast. Put some of that stuff out there. I subscribe to those who subscribe to me, and I encourage all of us to amass a playlist exposing the truth. YouTube Eternal Perspective. Okay, so that was the end of my my recording with the P900. So some of what I said was, of course, redundant, and you know that. And I did that intentionally because when I am doing a video with this, I can't switch from the diopter view and to this view right here through the LCD screen. And the way that it is, I just want to, this is a matter of, a lot of my friends have a P900, so I'm gonna just show you one of the details of how I use this. And one of the reasons why I don't wear glasses anymore is because it would prevent me from doing what I'm about to show you right there. My arms are pulled tight to my chest, the diopter is right in my eyeball socket, and I can zoom in on the target, whatever it is. Sun, moon, stars. Some of it moves a bit. When zoomed in on something 83 times miles away, it's just a challenge to maintain stability. However, sometimes it's a good trade. I want to be able to show what I can show you all. And then the LCD screen provides the ability to take this camera, open that screen up, and drop it down on the water. The challenge with that, though, is I can't bounce back to zooming in on the moon real easily. So that's where the down low and like the lens right on the water and then focusing in on the moon or the stars, that's all a big challenge. But you can see some of the content, if you care to, on my photo album. And for anybody who's ambitious with wanting to take some of the content that I've created and put it together in a slideshow, I've got some friends that have already done that. Karen Pettit out of the UK has done that. John Goulet has taken some of my photos and put scripture on them. Karen recently has taken some of the photos that I've captured and put proclamations to research flat earth and so forth. So I believe that that's all real helpful. Part of the dynamic here as we collaborate and work together is that we can learn different things that we can do. Some of us are content creators. Some of us find great ways to share it, produce documentaries. Like ODD, Celebrate Truth, Rob Skiba. There are just so, The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. There are so many wonderful creators of content. I think it's amazing. And a lot of those videos have been shared on my liked video playlist. The advantage of that, and I want to go through some of the matters of housekeeping that we can all do. I've got too much wind coming at me to stand there, so yeah, you get to look at the tidal pools instead of me. No big gloss there. But the idea is that we can create a playlist, a liked video playlist. If you've got a YouTube channel, I would like to see everybody have a YouTube channel that wants to expose the truth and the reality of the world that we live in. That's what I would like to see. We can subscribe to 100 YouTube channels in a day. That's pretty special. That can make a difference. Even I subscribe even to the people that are hating on me. You know, it could be, like I mentioned, it could be artificial intelligence, or it could be a real person that's genuinely just very angry. I met a gentleman and a lady last week, or earlier this week, and I mentioned 9/11. He said, we're not going to go there. I lost family there. And I understand a lot of people are upset about what happened on 9/11. Well, I'm going to talk about it. The official system of control and communications wants people, when they want your opinion and your belief, they'll give it to you. How about that? Yeah, that's kind of how it works. So they're very adept at deceiving. By irony and paradox, the deceived don't know they're deceived. To be intellectually honest, that in theory could possibly be me. I could be deceived. I was deceived. I was part of the global deception. I believed that we lived on a globe and didn't even know to look into anything about that. So I posted a flat earth video to a 9/11 truth group and was told to not do that anymore. I don't even know if I'm still a member of the group. I didn't leave. If you're an admin for a group and you don't like something I'm sending into your group, feel free to delete it. And actually, if you don't like what I'm about, feel free to have me leave the group. Yeah, that's okay. If you want to talk about it, that'd be fine. You can call me anytime. That's why I make my phone number available so much. I want people to be able to reach out and ask a question or tell me what they want. Tell me whatever they want to tell me. If they think I'm wrong about something, or they want to tell me something I should know, that's fine. I'm good with that. So today I posted a video from Facebook, and it was one of my friends, and it was about 9/11, and I wanted to hashtag 9/11 Truth Seekers. And I'll be probably coming up with other videos with that being in the with hashtagging different topics like drug addiction, hashtag mind control, any of that. I didn't even realize how beneficial the hashtagging could be. One of the challenges, though, I don't know if the artificial intelligence is primarily letting me see my content that I'm hashtagging, and I know that other people's content is there too. It's not just that I want to see what I've produced being there. I want to see the collaboration of those that are seeking the truth and exposing it. I want to see that genuine article, the genuine information going out there. Now the challenge with that is there's intentional disinformation going out there also. So it will be a challenge to determine what's the reality. So these are some of the views happening right on over there. I can't zoom in real well and show you that. So I'll just take the pictures and show them to you. Put them in there a little bit. You may recognize them later. The photography is to engage the heart and the mind. That's a distance, that's a big deal. So there's Flat Earth Truth meetups and other meetups happening all around me, and other people too that are vocal about this. So my car is labeled up with my YouTube channel. People go there and subscribe. I'll drop in on a post, and yeah, I like to use capital letters. It works for me. It really seems to trigger some of the haters. I love triggering the haters. Hey, you know what? It's okay. They need to be triggered. I want to wake them up. You know, like in a parody of the 1970 Hans and Franz, we want to pump you up. I want to wake people up. And even if the backup beeper to the truth truck shows up in somebody's doorstep or inbox or right in front of their face, unless they have a desire to know the truth, it's not going to happen. Some of the photos, like I post, I've got I have Mark Sargent in the photo album and the video presentation that he gave at the Flat Earth International Conference in Canada. And he was instrumental in helping me realize that we absolutely don't live on a globe. And then there were other individuals that helped me to realize that 9/11, the events of 9/11 were clearly not possible as we were told they happened. Steel can't be melted by what they told us happened. Buildings can't fall at free fall speed with all the concrete and steel in the way. They got moved out of the way. It could be a directed energy weapon, technology, some of which we're not even aware exists. That can totally happen. So as far as telling you exactly what happened, I would simply say, well, the official narrative on that is patently not possible. So that means they're in on it. That's enough. As far as what is the model of I get people that say, you flat earthers, your model's all wrong, your map's all wrong. Hey, believe whatever you want. I know I'm not standing on a globe. I know that. So what that means is, well, we didn't go to the moon and take all the fake pictures of it. We still got monkeys. They told us we came from monkeys. This P900 didn't evolve. And the P1000 didn't evolve from the P900 in the sense that it just was happenstance. It had a designer, a creator, a design team, a public relations promotion team. I'm even part of that, promoting the use of technology to show people the world that we actually live in. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got some more condos to clean today. I wanted to tell you that because some people are wondering, what do I do? What do I do? So I go home, download, upload, and then clean and do other stuff too. And we were very successful in real estate. I worked a lot of hours at my job, and then we were foster parents as well for 9 young men, and also fixing up, living in, and selling and profiting from the real estate that we did that with. So there's a bunch of information that people can avail themselves to if they want to. feel free to contact me anytime you like. This is Robert Forsch. I'm one of the truth seekers. I've actually found the way, the truth, and the life, and new life in Christ. That's why I'm unapologetically biblical, and I will just continue to do that because I believe that the truth matters, especially on significant areas where people are basing their eternal perspective on. Where will people spend an eternity? Well, all God's children will absolutely be born of His Spirit. Hearing His Word is an important dynamic in causing that to happen. Oh, so now I just want to take this and disconnect my power source. Hopefully I still have sound transmission here. And I wanted to show you some dynamics of a change of view. Dropping it on the water and picking it up. The increased height helps us to see further. It doesn't mean we're living on a curved spinning ball. It just means that there are perspectives. And there we can see the ripples on the water and the symmetry of the reflections. Good to see you here. Thanks for sharing. Feel free to share it as much as you like. Or like I say too, or just scroll on by. If somebody is looking for evidence, they'll find it on my channel if they're looking for it. If you're looking for truth, you'll find it on my channel, on my Facebook presence. If you're looking for it. If you're looking to see me as a crazy guy, yeah, evidently you'll find that too. All right. Here we go. Thank you so much. For an eternal perspective, YouTube it if you care to. Subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. No telling what I'm going to come up with next. We've got hurricane season coming, and I plan to go live and show that as well.